How's everybody doing? The dust. The dreaded dust. You remember that line in Apocalypse Now with Marlon Brando? The horror. The horror. So you know what I did? So I just want to mention about dust for a second here, but or a couple minutes. So I did something really stupid, actually. And we all do that, right? If you don't, I don't, I don't want to hang around with you because you're too perfect for me. But so I ran a router. I used a drop sheet. That was fine. I kept the dust down. It was the last power tool I swore I'd ever use in the room here. And then what I did was I pulled out the jigsaw and I thought, okay, no big deal, right? Well, guess what I did? I basically created a dust cloud of dust, really dumb. So you can see now I'm removing all the components to basically vacuum up all the dust. Like everything needs to be dusted. There's a film of Baltic birch 7-ply dust over my whole layout. Actually, it starts to get quite minimized around this point here, but you can see I'm pulling the buildings, dusting everything. And there's a little bit over here, but not much, but I basically have to dust my whole layout. Thank goodness I built it the way I did, because I can basically remove trees and building flats with ease, except for the ones that are wired. They're a little bit more, but I won't have to with these. I'll use a special fitting on my vacuum to get in there, but I'll never ever do that again. I'll never run another cutting, drilling, routing, sanding tool again in the layout room. Sorry. The weather's good now. I can do all the rest of my wood structures, substructures for the layout outside. I'm doing it this spring, this summer, and then I'm going to settle in for next winter, doing lots of details and fun stuff, but never again. I'll never do that again. So I want to talk to you about a little bit about dust, like sanding a few things, okay? And then we'll just move on from there. How's everybody doing? So a couple things I want to talk to you about this sub road bed and the cork. But before I do, I want to just address a question somebody asked way back. In fact, it might have been during the Glover Road days. If you roll back on videos there, you'll see when I built that and before I started River Road. And they said, how do you keep the dust off your layout? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I just showed how. It's the old-fashioned way. I use this brush, and because I use matte medium, right, there's a method to my madness, why I always use matte medium. People say, oh, it's expensive. Well, so is Mod Podge. So, I mean, how much more expensive is it really when you have 52 boxcars up above that you never use? What did you pay for those? I mean, how many bottles of matte medium? One boxcar will buy you 2 bottles of matte medium, or 3 nowadays, or 4 if you buy an auto rack. Anyway, I use this brush on the vacuum, and I can just go here, look. I just like right? Nothing happens, and if a few pieces of ballast fall off, good. But that's why I do it this way. This layout is incredibly tough, and that's because of my methodology. Now, you don't have to build a layout this way. You can build it any way you want, but people have critiqued me in the past about why I do things. This is why I do it. And if you're going to keep the dust off your layout, you got to vacuum it once or twice a month if you care to do it. Now, here's the caveat. Your little outhouses and kitchen or picnic tables, things like that, you're going to, if they're not glued down well, like with matte medium, not a glue gun, because a glue gun will pop. You use a glue gun on a layout, the heat, the humidity, and will separate, and you can just wiggle them and they just fall right off. So I leave some things loose, selected details that I remove on and off. I've lost a few in the vacuum, but I've been able to recover them, like Jersey barriers. Right? Okay, so that's why I do that. Now, I just want to talk to you about this quick. So you can see this is the 3/8 plywood. This is all down now, and this feels really good. This is 1/4-inch cork. Now, you can get this cork from building supply places in big rolls, but it's a bit of a bear to put down. It's just because when you uncurl it, it tends to want to crack and break. So it can be a exercise in frustration and futility at times. I find if you cut it down into smaller squares and just glue square pieces down, like small pieces at a time, and just join them together, you know. You can get flat sheets at Michael's, I think Hobby Lobby, things like that, probably sell it that way. Or if you want to go the Midwest route where you roll it out, that's fine, but that's up to you. But when you do sheets like this, there's advantages to it, right? You cover larger space and you save money. So you can buy a matte medium, not just this. I use this to glue cork down to wood. This is about as good as it gets. People use this for other methods too, and I have too, but I basically use this for wood and cork. Okay, so this is starting to feel really good because once I get this cork down, I can lay some more track, and then I'll have a lead to switch the barge slip.